So, should we clap? So hey everyone, welcome to the Brand Engine. Once again, my name's Gerald Pauschmann, and with me is my co-host, Mr. Barry Moore.
Hi everyone, welcome to a very special video episode of our podcast where we're going to talk to you about YouTube and all the things you can use to promote your business.
I think one of the most important things is when we talk about why do we use YouTube as opposed to traditional article writing, is that we want to highlight for you the importance of how simple it can be for the setup and how easy it can be for you to be able to use the equipment that you might already have at a very low cost. And I think the opportunity for us today is to be able to use the equipment so that you're not spending thousands of dollars. And we'll show you what our setup is. But first, Barry, what's happening on the home front? Anything cool happening?
Well, we're just getting our planning underway for our big charity race across Peru in October. So we're setting up a website. You can go have a look at that. It's called raceacrossperuforcharity.info. You can find out all the information about our mototaxi junket trip across Peru to raise money for charity. The charity we'll be raising funding for is called coolearth.org, and basically they work with the indigenous people of the rainforest to halt destruction of their homeland and halt destruction of the rainforest. So go check it out. We'd love it if you could make a donation or even sponsor our trip. That would be fantastic.
And I guess, as usual, we will have all the information just below the show notes that you'll be able to track and also follow us along while we're in Peru in October.
Fantastic.
So I think we should probably start to kick off. And I think, like we said, what is the importance of using, video as opposed to the traditional article writing? So, Barry, questions you might think that people might want to ask.
Yeah, let's talk about the importance of YouTube first of all. YouTube is typically the second most popular site on the internet, right behind Google. So it's typically the top three are usually Google, YouTube, and Facebook. And we talked about Facebook and social media in episode 14 last week. And so today we're going to talk about YouTube. Now YouTube, the importance of YouTube is one, online video is becoming more prevalent. More people are watching it, more people are producing it, more people are going to it when they want to find out information. But YouTube is also a giant search engine.
Yeah.
Basically, when people want to learn more information about something, they want to learn how to do something, typically they'll go to YouTube. How do I do this? Where can I find more information on that? And people's videos will come up. So if you're trying to rank your business for a particular keyword or a particular subject matter, you have your website, and your website has pages and articles about that particular subject matter. But if you create videos around that subject matter as well, then you're kind of double dipping the search results, meaning that when people type into Google, how do I, what are the best running shoes? Well, yeah, you might have pages on your website that come up, but if you're doing video reviews of running shoes as well, then you'll get those search results on the search results page. You'll get your videos coming up as well. You'll see Google's gone to what's called consolidated search results, where they give people a couple web pages, a couple images, and a couple videos to choose from. So you're really doubling your chances of someone finding you through Google if you have a lot of videos indexed through through YouTube as well. And of course, Google owns YouTube, so they work hand in hand together as well.
I think one of the questions that a lot of people ask me is that, does it actually add to the credibility of the person who's producing videos online, or does it detract from their credibility? What would you say?
Well, I think that old adage of people want to do business with people. So if someone can put a name and a face and a voice to your business, then they're probably more likely to relate to you as an individual and relate to you as a business, and be more likely to want to do business with you as well. So, video reaches out to people in a way that the written content can, or even a podcast, audio content can't. You get to see our faces, you get to experience our emotions and our silly hand gestures and everything else. So it makes for more of a connection with your potential customer as well. And I think you're right, it can set you up as an authority. So I know a guy in Sydney who's started doing, video podcasting or video content around his accountancy firm. And you might think that that's one of the driest subjects you can think about, but he's having great success with it, right? So if you imagine you're at a dinner party or something and somebody asks you what you do and you say, I'm an accountant, or I'm a pilot, or I'm a doctor, or whatever, what are the next few questions typically people ask you about that profession or ask you about your job? And if you do little 2 or 3 minute videos around that subject matter, you have a very good chance of connecting and putting yourself out there as an authority on that particular subject matter.
Yeah, I guess the thing that I like about using videos is that if you go to the presentationcoach.com.au, is that I've already uploaded a couple of videos on there, and what I've noticed is that I can actually see how long people will stay on my videos. And a good example of that is that I know that if I go to YouTube and I do a certain search on something, I kind of like look at the timeline to see how long this video is going to last. So if I see it going for 20 or 30 minutes, I might be thinking, this has got some rich content in here. I can scrub through a lot of it, but I might want to stay on point because the guys or the girl whoever's actually giving the video is quite interesting. So the shorter ones might be just a bit of, this is a how-to, this is how you boil an egg in 60 seconds, bang, I can sit through 2 or 3 minutes. But if this is how you boil an egg and it's going to give you 30 minutes of how to boil an egg, we just switch off. So for me, I know that I'm using on my website, I've got an article up on there, I've got a podcast up on there, or our podcast up on there, I've got video. So using those 3 medias, would that be right? I'm attracting more customers to my site?
Every time, it's like a door into your content. So you've got your website with your potential door. You might have your social media links, which is another door, another way for people to find you, another tentacle to the octopus, so to speak. Then you've got podcasts, which is another way for people to come across you and your content. And video, again, is another way for people come across your content. And just to your point about the length of the video, I think you'll find if you're doing these kind of videos for marketing, yeah, the shorter ones, the kind of 2 to 3 minute ones work best, because as soon as someone goes to that YouTube page or sees the description of what your video is about, they're going to look down and see how long it is, and then they're going to make that decision in their mind, do I want to invest that much of my time in this particular subject matter? And if it's a little 2 or 3 minute clip about a particular piece of content or a particular product, or you're reviewing a product, then yeah, they'll sit through 2 or 3 minutes. That's not a big ask. If you put out a 45-minute long video, and they're going to have to sit there and look at your video for 45 minutes, it better be some really interesting or really important content. So I think it's easier to chunk it down, even if you're going to do a series of it. This is how to set up a YouTube video, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Chunk it down into small, consumable, easily consumable bits, and I think you'll have more success.
So hey, has anyone noticed anything different apart from me buying lunch, which is clearly different, and that we are standing on opposite sides to where we were before? We haven't got a mirror image here. What we've done is that we wanted to show you that the video quality that you're seeing now is maybe a little bit different to what you were seeing previously to when we were standing on the opposite sides. So Barry, what was the objective of that? Why are we doing that?
Well, we want to show you that you can get started making your own videos on a very inexpensive budget with stuff you may already have around the house. So this segment, we're filming on an iPad, just a normal straight out-of-the-box iPad with a straight out-of-the-box camera that comes with the iPad, and a little lavalier mic that you can see is now attached to my shirt that you can pick up for $60. So with the iPad that we had laying around anyway, and a $60 investment in a lavalier mic, you can start producing your own videos straight away. We'll talk about post-production, what software you might need, but if you just want to shoot a quick piece to camera, you might not even need to edit it. So you might not even need an editing suite, but we just wanted to prove that you can get good quality video with just basic equipment.
I think in some of my previous articles that I've written there on thebrandengine.com is that I mentioned about the sound and light quality. I mean, right now we're standing in the midst of the Amazon, and that was a
not
toucan.
Yet. We will in October.
We will in October. But we're standing here in the midst of a rainforesty kind of scene. We haven't got too much sunlight in us, but light is very important. But the other thing that's most essential that you will require to making a very good video is that we could have used the sound coming straight off the iPad, but we would get a lot of echo noise and ambient noise. Like we would hear some basketballing hitting on the background. Don't know if you can hear that. Or we would hear some scuffling of people, trying to rob us behind us. So what we decided to do was that, well, talk about the lav mic.
Yeah, nothing ruins a good video more than poor audio quality. So you'll get good video out of the iPad, as we said, but if the mic is this far away, if you're using the internal mic inside the...
nice fingernails, by the way.
Nice. Inside the iPad, you're going to get a lot of echo and a lot of background noise. So you're going to want a microphone that's closer to the source of the sound so you don't get all the ambient noise. Now, you can get lavalier mics and you can spend anywhere from $20 up to hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But this one is called a Rode, R-O-D-E, a Rode Smart Lav mic, and it's made specifically to work with the iPad or iPhone or any of those iOS devices. And you can pick them up cheaply online, costs you maybe $60. And it really produces really nice sound quality and works with all your Apple gadgets that you might already have.
I love the way that Barry said, we have, you might just have an iPad lying around the house. Because that's what everyone has.
Well, I think we've got 3 lying around.
Yeah, well, all of us, yeah. But what else do we need? And I think this is what's important about when somebody says, I want to produce a YouTube video, but you guys are so professional, you use all the great equipment, but apart from the iPad, which, you know, whatever the retail price is there or who you can pick that up from, you know, to borrow, the lavalier mic, which is around $60.
That's right.
What else do we have, though? Because it's important also to note that what we've got the lavalier mic plugged into.
We've got it actually plugged into the iPad, but most of you will probably have an iPhone or a smartphone lying around the house already. All right?
Lying around the house.
Or you're using it. You've got one, or your partner's got one, or your friends have one. But these are also powerful video cameras. Same camera that you could, same video quality you could get from the iPad. And really all you need to get started is the smartphone, the Rode Smart Lav, or something similar. So that's $60. Phone you probably already have. $60 investment in the lavalier mic. And then this is a little groovy little smartphone stand. Can you just hold my iPad?
Yep.
This is a groovy little smartphone stand from a company called Joby. And it's just a clip that basically expands to whatever size your phone is. So it will hold your phone nice and securely. And it comes with this groovy little tripod attachment that you can just screw straight into the bottom.
I'm going to steal this when he goes.
So once it's all collapsed down, fits right in your pocket, and now you can just put that on a bookshelf or put that somewhere up high, plug the lav mic straight into that, and you can be filming a video, and you can carry all this stuff in your pocket. It all collapses down. I carry it in a tiny little, this bag just here has all my filming studio in it. My lav mic, my little Joby stand, and of course the Smart Lav microphone as well. So you can get started pretty much straight away for less than $100.
I love that. Barry's got the iPhone, the iPad, the mini iPad, the lav mic. He's got all the gear and he carries it around in a little plastic bag that he gets from.
This is another cool thing that we use extensively at home when we're shooting videos, especially for Nikki's brand, the Vitality Coach. So this is called a Makiyama movie mount, and what it is a plastic case basically that you can snap. In this case, it's the iPad mini. Snap the iPad mini straight into this Makiyama movie mount. They come for the full-size iPad as well, but the groovy thing about that is it has a tripod base attachment, so you can put it straight onto a tripod. It has screw-in threads here, so you can screw in other lenses, so you can get other lenses on here, and it's got some cold shoe mounts here and here, so you can put lighting or shotgun mics on this, and you can turn your iPad, or your iPad mini in this case, into a total movie studio, a total video studio. So again, utilizing the tools you may already have around the house.
Look, and I think really the only other thing that you require, and when I'm sitting here or standing here talking to you guys, we've got the mic. We don't need the lighting here today. If we were in a dark room, of course, we would show you some lighting. But what I think is also important is that just a tripod. And do you have one of those lying around the house too?
Oh, I have 2, in fact.
You got a couple of tripods. So it's a tripod. Mount your iPad on there, and from what Barry had shown you, it's got a tripod pad mount, an iPad mount that you can connect to it, and quite simply you're away. And this setup took us how long to set up? Seriously?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
With that.
Yeah, and the important thing here is that, you know, we can go to a lot of effort. We can hire a studio. We can then set up the lighting. This will cost us thousands of dollars to be able to produce, and yet we're showing you something that we produced, you know, in under 5 minutes. And of course, probably one of the hardest things that most people say is that, what do I say? What do I talk about? But content is another episode that we'll talk about also. All
right, so we've shown you it's quite easy to get started with simple equipment, and you can produce quality results. And the benefits that you're going to have on YouTube, you're going to get search engine optimization for your keywords. You'll get another door into your content. So instead of just a static website, you can be found on YouTube. You can embed those YouTube videos. They can be shared. So it's really great for building your brand and getting your message out there. And it also helps with search engine optimization in that there are a number of different ways for people to find your content.
Yeah, so I think, you know, for us to take away some key messages here is that you don't have to be spending thousands of dollars to produce your video online. We will talk about post-production, I think maybe in another episode.
Yeah, we'll talk about what software you can use to edit the movies, edit the video that you create.
Yeah, and what you'll see is as we're speaking here, we'll have some little captions that will be running over the top of, you know, this, and we'll even put in some inserts of, you know, the equipment that we've shown you, which makes it a lot easier for you to view. But apart from that, we want you to get your brand online, and one way to do this is that Sure, we've talked about our own branding, we've talked about, you know, how to structure your website, but now to get some content up there, you know, this is one great way to be able to do that.
Yeah, so here's the action item from this episode. Go out, grab your iPhone, and just make a couple videos around the house. Don't worry about anyone who's going to see them. Don't be self-conscious. Film for the garbage can, as we say, so you know you're going to delete them, and no one's going to see them, so you don't have to worry too much about the content or what you sound like, the sound of your voice. Just go out, try a few. Try playing around with the settings on your phone or your iPad or your camera. Make a few videos, have a look at them, try a little your hand at editing, and then delete them when you're through.
Well, that's it for today's episode 15, of the brandengine.com/episode 15. As usual, please leave all of your comments just below the show notes there. We'd love to hear your feedback, and of course on iTunes.
And on iTunes as well, if you could leave us a review, that'd be great. So get out there and build your brand online.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Did you notice anything different, apart from us standing on the opposite sides to where we once were, and Barry is incredibly, you know, less handsome than what I am? Apart from those obvious features, did you notice anything different in the video quality?
We wanted to prove a point, and we're going to show you some budget ways you can get started filming your own videos or videotaping your own videos with stuff. Okay, cut.
Yeah, okay, let's do that again.